Floor is yours.
Everybody, welcome to Burn It Down NASCAR Podcast. We're going to get ready for Daytona.
Yeah.
And I didn't, as we've discussed, I've got computer issues on my secondary, but I'm sure you'll pull it up and we'll discuss about the twin 125s and all of the doings going on at Daytona. Let's just do the clash. What'd you think?
I don't think you're going to like my response.
All right.
The heat race is stupid. Dumb, 25 laps, there's no reason. Whoever is first or second was going to win it. But the actual clash itself was decent. It was good. Way better than last year. I guess that's the best way to put it. I enjoyed it. I hate to say that, but I actually did. The clash itself.
And I'll be honest as well. It wasn't as horrible as what I thought it was going to be, but I had to walk away during halftime.
Yeah, the halftime stuff is garbage. NASCAR saying, oh, the crowd this. No, that was completely trash. Yes, I understand it's West Coast, so they're trying to get West Coast artists, but I'm sorry, NASCAR isn't rap. NASCAR isn't R&B. You could have had so many rock stars. I guarantee you, live in the LA area, that would have been a way better concert. Way more people would have been into it, and probably would have drawn more fans and crowds to that 20% fan base that they had there. I can't believe that was a football stadium, and it was literally 20% filled.
Well, they're saying now, I don't know if this is tickets sold or actual attendance, that they had around 50,000 people.
Yeah, well,
Now,
that's 25%. Literally, that's what that is. I think that's. I had to look at the capacity of the Coliseum, but I think it's like 200.
About 85.
Is it 85,000 for the?
Yeah.
There's no way then. I'm sorry, that was not 50% capacity.
I think they were actually quoting ticket sales versus rings at the
ticket
door,
sales and tickets they gave away, which was probably over half of them for just people to get there. So, literally, those stands weren't 25% filled. Sorry.
They weren't. I agree with you 100%. I'm hearing rumblings in two different directions. You know, it was a huge success. I heard the Morning Boys on Sirius XM, trying, and again, it's their job. I get it. Well, I saw an 80,000 plus capacity with 50,000 in there. Well, I don't think there was 50,000 in there to begin with, and if that thing was held at Daytona, you'd have had a heck of a lot more than 50,000 people in attendance, even though their argument is, well, the attendance was down at Daytona, but I'll agree with you. It wasn't horrible as last year, but last year
it says expecting 50,000. Now, was it actually that many? I'm looking up the capacity and it expecting, so they're not actually saying the numbers.
Well,
I haven't found it yet, and I'm just doing a real quick search, but.
Yeah, I really, really, truly hope that this is the last year that they do this.
No, they won't make this a point race because Fontana's not going to be done next year.
Yeah, well, I heard that too. I just don't think that's going to happen.
Joey Logano, Denny, you hear Denny Hamlin? Yeah, you need to watch. He's got a Dirty Mo podcast now off Dale Jr., and that boy rips NASCAR. I saw a clip. He goes, no, let's put this in the chase.
They need to just, I'm sorry, just stop it.
As much as Denny Hamlin.
I go back to last year because the whole premise of this was to get more fans, and
They
still
wanted,
haven't found.
they wanted to trickle fans, get the West Coast, and then have it trickle to the other West Coast tracks. Hasn't worked. It's not going to work. I'm sorry. That is a very hard market for NASCAR, the hillbilly, hickabilly racing to get into that. I'm sorry. Putting that track there isn't going to help, and it hasn't helped, and it's going to prove that again. Sorry.
I agree. Well, like I said last year, I have yet to see the interview with any one single person that has shown up at, say, Phoenix or Las Vegas or Sonoma. That said, yeah, I'm here because I went to the Clash at the Coliseum, and that's why I'm a diehard now. It's not. It's kind of like back in the late 80s, early 90s. It's a water cooler subject. I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, who won? Well, I don't care. I was there. I got this cool jacket or this wonderful hat or something, that's all that is for out there. And in my opinion, I just think that it's something new, it's something different. You buy a ticket for the race, you get to see some of your rap crap boys for free.
Hey, valiant effort, great experiment. Don't try it again. You have all these homegrown tracks that are rebuilding and repaving and upgrading. Use them, and I hope to God that they do next year.
I do too. I can see Rockingham.
Yep. I hope Rockingham is it, because they haven't announced anything for you, and they're doing so much work to it. I just can't, because North Wilkesboro didn't have that much work to it, and they already announced All-Star to it, and Rockingham's already repaved, and they're redoing everything, so I think announcements coming. Either, like I said, it's going to be All-Star Race of 2024 or the Clash 2024, and I hope to God it could be both, but I hope it's the Clash at the start.
I want to see them both on the point schedule.
Yes.
And I hope that Chicago Road Race is a one-off and they're done with that crap too, but we'll get to that. Anyway, congratulations to Martin Truex. Whatever this win means, I suppose it's more emotional, confidence building for him and his team.
Yeah.
I just hate seeing it, but it is what it is. Let's leave it alone. It was horrible as last year. Last year this was the first time on the track and race conditions for the new cars, so obviously we've had a whole year to iron out some of that stuff, but Ty Gibbs' crew didn't get it right. He burned his car up.
Hey, they got it fixed pretty good, but he still crashed out of the race.
Yeah, they said that the crew improperly installed the muffler. I don't know whether that's true or not. Nobody's disputed it, but
I'm sorry, it's fireproof foam that's catching fire. Hello?
Yeah.
Is that not a red flag?
That's pretty hot. That's really hot. One other thing that came up at the Clash that I wanted to cover, which cracked me up, is did you see the billboards of Joey Logano?
Yeah, his hair.
Yeah, see, he's got a new sponsor.
Yeah. Hey, instead of dodging it, make it a sponsor, bro. Bro got dude is balding like crazy, and now he's got a fresh lock of hair. Good for him.
Cracked me up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm good for you, my man.
Sense of humor.
Good for you. Won a championship, got new hair, have a new kid. Let's go.
Yeah, it's all on.
Yeah.
All right.
The only I'll say this before we go. Congrats, Martin Truex. Regardless, is whoever's in top 5 is most likely going to win that race. Ryan Preece is really good until they said a fuel pump issue when that's why he went back.
Fuel pressure something.
And another thing that really bothered me is everybody who did the last chance qualifier, they weren't allowed to put more fuel in the car. That's why Michael McDowell went out, because he ran out of fuel, which, like, come on, NASCAR. Like, this is an exhibition. Who cares? Let them add fuel, because you know they did an extra 50 laps. You know they're going to be close on fuel. Whatever. But the only person that could drive through the pack was Kyle Busch, and that boy was going until I think he used the tires up, and that's why he let Austin Dillon go. But once he got spun by Joey, which that's going to be fun to watch back and forth this year, is
he's not at all. He did like 4 or 5 interviews in every single
dissing
Joey.
Yeah. Dissing him. And another thing too is what I'll give a round of applause to Austin Dillon. Booted Bubba. Get the fuck out the way, boy. Booted. And he didn't care. I think a little bit of Kyle Busch is rubbing off on Austin Dillon.
Well, you gotta make your statement. Yeah. No, that was. Of course, Bubba wasn't happy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
you got spun. You barely tapped the wall. Get your car if it's that good. Get back up front. Kyle Busch did. He got spun by Joey. Went right past everybody. Back up to second. He proved he was able to do it. So, I'm actually very excited to see what Kyle Busch does, because little nice little segue. He's racing five races in the Xfinity, and he's racing in trucks.
5 truck races.
5 trucks and 5 Xfinity, I think. They announced for Colleague or something. So he's gonna be racing a lot for Chevy, and that's scary, because you know what he can do in those races, Xfinity and truck.
Yep. Yeah, he's. I saw a mock-up, and again, I can't pull it up, but what, Pocono?
I don't know what races. I just know it's 5. I can try to look it real quick.
In the trucks, what I'm interested in, because that's his team.
When was it? Kyle Busch for Zariz Transport is apparently the sponsor. The number 51 will be Las Vegas, Coda, Martinsville, Kansas, the first one, and then Pocono.
Yeah. So, but you're right. I think he's got new life.
Oh, he does. He's got new life. He's literally, now that he's with Richard Childress, I think he can kind of like relax a little bit. He's like, I got 3 Chi pretty much. I got it hit. That's a Childress owned sponsorship. I don't have to worry about sponsorship. I can kind of let that loose and not give a shit about what I do on track. And plus, you know, Childress had Earnhardt, the most bullheaded person out there. So I think Childress says, go out there and win. I need winning cars. Prove that my equipment's good. So I think Childress going to back him up on anything he does, unless it's something stupid, crazy, like, I'm not going to say, but unless it's outlandish. But anything he does on track, I guarantee you, Childress
carry a 38 to an airport.
Yeah. Hey, he paid the $1,200 fine, and then he's good. Yeah, I forgot about that story.
A lot of back and forth banter on social media about that this
week.
Who
cares?
Well, the bottom line is, if it was a real issue, NASCAR would have kicked him, suspended him.
Yeah.
It was a private airport.
He said it was a private. He usually does it right. He forgot he packed it. When they checked it, it was there, and it was, Mexico, whatever, and he paid the fine, and he's fine. It wasn't, he knows what the hell he's doing. He has a permit to carry concealed carry. He knows what the hell he's doing. Let the man go. Jeez.
Before we go any farther, I do want to give a recognition to a matriarch of this sport, and that's Martha Jarrett, Ned Jarrett's wife, that passed away this week.
Oh, really?
Dale Jarrett's mother. Yeah. I don't recall what her age was, but I just wanted to give an acknowledgement You know, she was the wife of a champion. She was the mother of a champion. Um, it's just we're starting to lose some of the people that made this sport possible to be what it is. And again, I just wanted to give a shout out and condolences to the Jarrett family. And that's it on that. Don't mean to be a Debbie Downer here, but it's worth mentioning because that's a big name in NASCAR. All right, back on the light-hearted stuff. Ross Chastain's car has been preserved for eternity. I don't know whether Trackhouse has got a museum or not, but they said that they're not doing anything with that car other than putting it on display.
That'll probably be the first piece, because that was literally their first year, first major event for that organization. And it'll signify, a lot. Chastain got it, into the top 4, did the crazy, move,
and
maneuver.
They made a rule about that. You can't
so
do it
that
anymore.
one'll be, that'll be probably in the colleague headquarters under a bubble, as presented.
Yeah. I think it's cool.
A colleague, but Trackhouse.
Yeah. And we also have another new rule with what Bubba and Kyle Larson did, or what Bubba did to Kyle Larson at Vegas when he knocked him around a little bit. That
should have been instant suspension. Sorry.
Yeah, it should have been for a lot longer than just a race. But they're saying that now there's monetary fines automatic and all kinds of other stuff, which I think is correct, because Kyle Larson didn't do anything wrong.
No, he was mad he's getting outplayed. Sorry, you suck. And a champion's passing you. Stop.
He ran out of talent is what he did.
What talent can he run out of? He has none. I'm sorry, I will never be on Bubba's side.
No,
what he says and what he's done.
He cries too much.
After what he did to Kyle Larson, I'm sorry, you tried to kill him twice, in the car and then after the fact. Sorry.
Yeah.
You don't get a pass.
Could have hurt him bad. Could have hurt him bad. All right, you got any other things you might want to talk about?
Nothing I can really think of. We kind of mostly hit high points. I mean, I can bring up NASCAR news and see if there's anything that pops up.
A little thing I saw that I thought was cool. Interstate will be on all four of the Gibbs cars throughout the year to complete the longest running sponsorship consecutive years of all time. For one organization. I thought that was cool because, of course, we had Goodwrench with Senior. We had DuPont with Gordon. Lowe's with Jimmy Johnson. Yeah. You had some cars out there. I really thought that FedEx and Denny Hamlin would be in the running for that honor, because as long as I can remember, I can occasionally remember a secondary primary sponsor for Denny Hamlin. But for my Lord, how many years has FedEx been his main deal?
Ever since he's been with Joe Gibbs.
M&M's Mars with Kyle Busch over there.
Yeah.
But they're saying that this year, the completion of this year will be the longest consecutive years running of a main sponsor for one team in the history of NASCAR. And then you think about STP with Richard Petty. Really?
Yeah, you don't think about it.
But anyway, I just thought that was cool.
Well, you got to think about it. Interstate was there for Dale Jarrett in the 18. Dale Jarrett first.
True.
It was Dale Jarrett, Bobby Labonte, then Kyle Busch, and now all four of those cars. So
Yeah.
essentially, it's four generations of drivers. Well, 4 generations, yeah.
So I thought that was cool. They're gonna be for like 4 races on each car throughout the year. So
Yeah.
anyway, there's been some really cool interstate mock-ups on those cars, with the lightning bolts
Yeah.
and things of that nature. And then a little rumor, that I like, and it goes to more of the, I don't want to say breakdown, but we've stated before, there's a problem at Joe Gibbs Racing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a rumor running around that Christopher Bell is gonna leave after this year and take over the number 4 car at Stewart Haas.
Hell, that'd be huge. If that's true, I never
Alright.
heard that. That'd be freaking huge. Holy crap. If
I've
Tony
seen
could
that
pull that off, holy shit.
Yeah. Because we had talked about maybe Truex going over there.
True. I said Alex Bowman, but Christopher Bell by far is the better option because he's, for one, Truex is still obviously a champion, but the longevity of what Christopher Bell could be, and obviously I think he could be a potential champion in the right shit. Yeah, I do believe that's actually huge. I didn't even hear that.
I've heard that more than once on more than sourced on more than one source, for lack of a better term. But I thought that right there,
Yeah,
if
that's
Christopher
huge.
Bell leaves Joe Gibbs Racing, Martin Truex, let's face it, is probably just going to race this year and he's done.
Unless he wins and be the top contender, I don't see him leaving when he's that. I mean, on top. I could be wrong.
He broke up with his longtime girlfriend, or
Yeah,
she broke
fiance,
up
girlfriend.
with him.
Yeah.
So they're no longer together. I think maybe he's doing this year just to keep busy. My personal opinion, I have no sourcing or anything that points me to that. It's just what I'm thinking, because he was gonna make last year his last year, and for some reason they talked him into coming back. And the stories I've read always said just one more year.
Yeah, he's only one more year, but he hasn't talked retirement, really.
No. And I still, back to last year's conversations, believe, even though Denny Hamlin's all raw right now about saying he's all Gibbs, I don't think so. I think if they can get a charter for 2311, he goes over there and races for himself.
With Denny?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so
really
too.
do.
Well, they have, like I said, whatever Travis Pastrana, that's not a charter, but it's a ride. If they can get the funds and money, yeah, I'm sure he would.
Who's he raised? He's gonna
Trucks.
Travis Pastrana's. No, he's gonna attempt the Daytona 500
for 2311.
Is it 23? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be the 67 car. And Travis Pastrana also is doing trucks also. For Daytona. I don't know what ride, whoever. But there is a thing on Travis Pastrana. He just started doing whatever racing he just started this week. I don't even know what it was. I heard about it this morning. He just started racing Monday of this type of racing just to help get some laps under him, and he just won his first race last night.
Really?
Yeah. It's like wheeling modified stuff. It's, that type of racing, but still, first time he ever tried it was Monday, and he won last night. So he's got talent.
He's going to be like a young Kyle Busch, where he's going to be good because you don't know what you don't know.
Well, he can,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's one of those people that can drive anything with wheels on it.
Mm-hmm.
Either good or bad, he can drive it. But he's proven.
Well, how many years did I say that Kyle Busch could take a big wheel, the old plastic play school, and still beat everybody on the track?
Yeah.
God, if he makes, I don't know. It'll be interesting.
It's gonna be hard for him because this another thing Denny Hamlin said is he's like I'm an owner, and if there's internal meetings about why scheduling of how we do structures of tracks, I'm not part of it because why the hell don't we have practice for Daytona 500? The first time we're gonna get in these cars is when we go to qualify in the duels. He goes, how does that make sense? He's if there's any input from owners, he's like, I haven't heard about it. And he's mad because Travis Pastrana, who hasn't drove a NASCAR car in 10 years, he's got to race it the first time ever there. I mean, I'm sure there's simming and all that, but that's not the same, I'm sorry, as actually in the car driving on the track. So
no, it's not. And like you said, it's crazy that they actually had practice at the Coliseum.
Yeah, I texted you. I'm like, let's have practice at the Coliseum, but not Daytona 500. Like, really?
Yeah.
This no practice crap, stop. You got to give these guys practice because how many times have you seen Kyle Busch or Kevin Harvick unload that car and it's a hunk of fucking junk off that trailer? And they go through practice and they give updates to their crew chief and crew and they make that car a top 5 car. How many times have you seen it? Week in and week out, that's what they do. Now they can't do it. Well, they don't have enough time.
And again, this is going back almost 30 years. Michigan. Dale Sr. qualified dead last. And again, this is when we used to have 2 different days of qualifying. And the first day they'd take the top 21 or whatever, and then everybody else would qualify the second day. He was dead last on day 1, came back on day 2 and beat the pole and had to start 22nd. So don't tell me that practice isn't beneficial. And believe me, the teams don't care about cost effectiveness. If they get a chance to improve their car, they'll spend whatever it is if they get an hour on the track to tweak it. Now, I also understand that with these new cars, there's not near as many things that they can do to the car to improve it as they could back in the day.
Yeah.
But still, at least let them get a feel of the track, a feel of the car. Whatever adjustments they are allowed, and I air quote, allowed to make these days, let them give it a shot and see if they can improve things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's total crap that they literally got practice at the Clash and they're not going to get it for the Daytona 500.
Oh, they'll get it. They'll get it after the qualifying duels.
But I mean, it's like we're back under COVID restrictions or some stupid crap. But I don't know. Anywho, I know we're kind of trying to make this one a short one because of your obligations. You got anything else?
Well, not really.
And I really hope we plan on getting back on here before the duels, right?
Duels are Thursday?
I believe so.
So yeah, it would be Wednesday. No, it'd be Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah. Okay. So we'll try and leave that a little bit alone for right now. That'll be a whole show getting ready for the duels.
Yeah, I was gonna have some questions, but we can wait for duels for that one.
Okay.
There's some news. Jimmy Johnson announced he's doing the Chicago race.
and Kyle Busch is riding shotgun. I'm sorry. I can't even get anywhere near excited for the Chicago.
You know the radio station around here, and they have Jason Lee and Cluck, and I listened to it on the way to work, and they're talking about, and they're all excited for this Chicago street race and all that. You know, because it's NASCAR close by, and I'm like, NASCAR, you have 4 tracks within 3 hours of right here. Why are you excited for NASCAR Chicago street race, which you're not going to see anything unless you're on TV? So I don't know. They were trying to hype it up.
Yeah, where are you going to sit and see it? I mean, do you remember one of the first times we went to
Indianapolis, you couldn't see because the fence. Yeah.
Indianapolis. And well, but after that, we were sitting up. I think it may have been that same race or race weekend. We were sitting up in the top of turn 3 and 4, and Jerry Nadeau hit the wall so hard we could feel it, and we didn't know who it was because we couldn't see it.
Yeah.
That's the way. Why would you want to go to a race where you couldn't see the whole race? All you're gonna do is boom, boom, boom.
It's gonna be the experience because they're
drink a beer and wait for them to come around the next time.
Literally, it's gonna be like a circus essentially, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's literally the main attraction is NASCAR, but the side attractions are the concessions and the concerts and all that. That's really what.
Drum beaters.
Yeah, so it's literally the best way to put it is literally a circus because the main attraction is NASCAR, but you can walk around. Like I said, there's gonna be so much crap everywhere.
But my point
they're not
is,
gonna sit there and watch.
If you want to actually watch the race, your best spot is at home on your couch because you can't see it.
Yeah, it's yeah.
And you just know somebody's gonna do something stupid. You know, there's just too many buildings. You and I know Chicago really well. Somebody's gonna do something dumb.
I'm sorry, one of those barriers better be thick because I'm sorry, a car going even 60 miles an hour is gonna push a barrier. And hopefully it's far enough away from that building. So
it's just
it's gonna be interesting, to say the least, for that.
I hope it's not a total debacle.
Let's do it during 4th of July weekend and not do Daytona.
Yeah, that.
Or Charlotte.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how that's gonna work out. But there's just certain tracks that, if you actually are interested in seeing a race, you're better to stay at home than go to the track unless you're looking for the atmosphere of the track. Indianapolis is one of them. Now Daytona, no, you can get good seats and see the whole track.
Yeah.
Talladega, you can see the whole track. Michigan, depending on where you're sitting, you can see most of the whole track. But when you got, and again, I am a road race fan and I understand Sonoma and Watkins Glen. But if I'm going to spend the money to go to a race, I want to see that race.
Yeah.
That's why because of my geographical location, I'm so excited about North Wilkesboro coming back online. Rockingham possibly coming back online. Martinsville, these smaller tracks. Because it doesn't really matter where you get your seat, you can see the race. Otherwise, I just as soon sit at home. But
there's a little couple of the news that I know that just popped up that I got reminded of. Is it's not there, but it popped up when I read this. David Gilliland is getting kicked out of his car, limited series. They said it was full time earlier in the off season. Now David Gilliland in front row, number 38. He's getting kicked out of his car. He's only doing.
Who they putting?
No idea. They haven't announced. He's only partial schedule now.
Sponsorship issues, maybe.
But they announced in the offseason he was full-time. This is the full-time driver list. Now he's partial. So I don't know if they're going to do what they did for Colleague, have just somebody else drive it for other races. I don't know. They haven't really announced what's going on yet. I don't know if they know. I think they're trying to open that seat up for up-and-coming rookies, what I think they're trying to do. Gilliland not cutting it. Then Matt Snyder is joining Joe Gibbs for 6 races in the number 19 car. Xfinity.
Yeah.
The Xfinity.
I want somebody, please, put Trevor Bayne in a ride full time.
I haven't heard anything on him. I don't know if he's racing this year. I haven't heard anything
I don't either.
on it.
I haven't seen anything. I think he look how well he did with Gibbs last year when he was given the opportunity. And he's supposedly a really nice guy. What has he done to make people so mad that they don't want to give him?
Christian God beliefs, I guess.
But that would supposedly work really well with Gibbs.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. If I were king.
As of right now, Mozak, I don't know who that is.
I've heard that name.
Mozak, I'm trying to find the first name. Mozak. Connor Mozak is set to share the number 19 Toyota with Ryan Truex, who is racing 9 races, Joe Graff Jr., who's racing 5 races, and then they just announced whoever I just said. Who did I just say?
Mozak?
No, before that, who's getting
Graff?
Matt Snyder.
Okay.
Is getting another 6 races into it. There are a few drivers who stand out as solid candidates to join the roster, including Trevor Bayne, who competed in 9 races for the team last year, but it hasn't announced them yet.
What was his average finish? Can you pull that up real quick?
I could just figure it out.
He was average top 10, had to be. Because he had a couple of second place finishes in that car.
She fell.
Nice.
Trevor Bayne. Media. Let's see if I can.
I mean, he's a former Daytona 500 winner. And he can't find a ride.
Okay, I can do the math. He finished. Hold on, give me a calculator. Finished 3rd at California. He finished 4th at Phoenix. 28th at Atlanta. Finished 9th at Charlotte. Finished 2nd at Nashville. 2nd at New Hampshire. 13th at Talladega. 5th at Vegas. And 6th at Homestead. So that's 72 divided by 9. Average 8th place.
I was going to say, top 10 average.
His worst finish, and honestly, if he got that, he probably crashed out or had something happen at Atlanta because it's a new track, this and that. If it wasn't for that, that ruined everything. It was 28th. It was 3rd, 4th, 28th, 9th, 2nd, 13th, 5th, and 6th. Hello, the guy hasn't been in a race car for 5+ years, and then he jumps in that car and does that. Hello.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that, he'd probably be top 5.
If there's something else going on there, I really would. And he brought his own sponsor.
That's what I'm saying. It might be a sponsorship issue because it's so sponsorship driven nowadays. So,
but he brought his own sponsor last year. That coffee company or whatever.
Well, it was the nutrition or whatever. So it might not. They might not be on board anymore. I don't know. I was trying to figure out anything out. I don't know. John Hunter is in the 20 car. Sam Smith is 18, and then still the 19's part-time drivers. They haven't announced anything, at least on here, of Trevor Bayne yet.
That's amazing. All right. I know we're a little light on content. Not a lot to really get into. Do you have anything else you want to?
I was really trying to find some stuff, but real quick. But that's pretty much. That's pretty much it. Because I kind of want to save. I have questions and I want to do for next week because it's next week's technically Daytona week, so I don't really want to use that footage.
All right. I do want to make a little speech / announcement. For those that do watch us, and I hope the viewership and participation goes up tremendously. I have been promoted to the admin of NASCAR only on Facebook. It's a pretty cool site page for NASCAR. I am now going to be a full-time writer on NASCARNation.com. I have committed to putting out a weekly blog post, whatever,
Rant.
rant. And now, starting with this show, it will be crossed into NASCARNation.com on an instant button, and it will be on NASCAR only on Facebook every week. As soon as it gets uploaded, it will be, I will take care of it, but it will be pushed over to those two sites as well.
I wish I would have known that. I know you kind of mentioned it, but I wish I would have put links in the
Where we're going to put that's part of the
well,
deal.
I know, but I would have done it now, so it's there. I don't have it now, so it would have to start next episode.
Okay. Well,
So
whatever we got to do.
So if I would have known that, I would have done that.
But well, I wanted to make it a surprise.
Yeah, I know, but it's one of those. If they get mad, I'm like, I didn't know. So it'll be there next episode.
We are expanding beyond all the other things, iHeart and everything else that we're on. This is going to be more direct to the fans that I personally have interaction with. And my old mantra, you guys, please talk to us. I'm hoping that Brian can figure out a way to go back and put this up to the sites that I just recited, because again, we've got the fantasy league coming up.
Yeah, I was gonna say the fantasy league finally updated the rules, and it's at least it seems like it's exact same way it was last year. They didn't change anything. So
okay, and you don't, from what I saw, you don't do any picks until the actual Daytona 500, correct?
You can't do anything until Wednesday. I can
but
double check.
They're not including the twin one, the duels, are they?
No, but they said literally when I went to it. I can pull it up and see what they said. It says come back Wednesday or something. I can try to. It says Fantasy Live is returning for 2023. Come back February 14th to set your rosters. That's Tuesday. You can come back Tuesday.
But is that for the Daytona 500 or for the?
Yeah, it's okay. Daytona.
Okay.
They just posted something here. It says high scoring roster for Daytona International Speedway wins $10,000. Hey, that's new.
There you go.
There you go.
But search us. It's Burn It Down NASCAR podcast on the NASCAR Fantasy Live. Would love to get a bunch of people in there. And we'll promote it next show if Brian can't get this linked up.
I can get it.
Whatever.
I didn't know.
I know it's a pain, and I didn't tell you.
I know.
Everybody.
That's fine.
But like I said, we've gotten the agreements and the cooperation, and hopefully this will be a banner year. I think that exposure will really help everybody involved. We're gonna have to keep it a little more PG than R.
My bad.
No worries. You did good. You didn't let any F-bombs today. So, that I remember.
I think I did
but
too.
Anyway. Well, so excited about the start of this new year. And again, I'm not looking for any kind of a slap on the back here, but I've been doing some rather intense behind the scenes negotiations, and I think everybody's happy. Now, hopefully, it works out for all of us, and I really want for this to work, not only for us, Brian, but for them too.
Yeah, obviously.
So Guys, I got nothing else. I know this was a little light this week, but we're getting geared up. We've got other things that we're working on. I've got to get my pen out and get it sharp again, which I'm happy to do. Um, and once we get going with this year, generally we're going to do the show on either Tuesdays or Wednesdays, and we do that because penalties really aren't handled. The final results, certified, whatever you want to call it, and penalties aren't announced until usually on Tuesday. So we like to make sure that we've got all the proper updated information to bring you the best instead of speculated news and facts. So I'm looking forward to a wonderful year. Like I said, let's see where it takes us. And hopefully we get a lot more participation, get some people in the fantasy league.
Yeah, it's Burn It Down NASCAR podcast. I was
Yeah.
trying to load it up, but I had to verify my email. Yeah, I made another, not another account, but another entry. I'm gonna do my main one. I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna do like one that's it's called Wild Picks, just ones that you just and see what the hell happens.
Throw it on the wall.
Yeah,
and see
essentially,
what sticks.
yeah, stuff that like it's just like maybe I'll try it. So I'm gonna do 2 picks this year.
Well, I'm hoping with getting this on these other pages that we'll get some people to come along with us and,
we'll see.
and
Yeah,
have
I'm
fun.
100%.
So
yeah, I'm 100% on that.
okay. All right, guys. Burn it down. Let's have fun.
Yeah. Honestly, just search, Google it, Burn It Down NASCAR podcast, and it pops up with the first thing. YouTube. If you're on the go on all major audio platforms, trying to think, it's Spotify,
iHeart,
Apple, Pandora, anything you can think of that are the major ones. Boom, they're there.
Yep.
All you gotta do is search it, and it usually will be there, or search it under the podcast tab. It's there if you're on the go, but if you're listening to the audio portion, you want to see our faces and our interactions and the stream or the video. It's on YouTube.
And I hope we can do almost just maybe only be about a 5-minute segment, but I'm really want people to get in with us on the fantasy league.
Yeah,
Highlight people that did well.
yeah.
Um,
If we get comments, we can bring up comments, other people's views, perspective, and we can have like a comment of the week, or whoever, if they someone did really good in the league, we can shout out them and what they who their picks were, and 100%. I'd get the fan base community involved. I'm 100%.
Absolutely.
At the moment, we don't have prizes, but we might have if it depends how big it is, a prize for the winning whoever wins. You can't have the belt, but we'll probably get like shirts or something.
Well, I do have contacts, and I can probably pull some strings. I'm not going to say what I can possibly make happen, but it's happened before in a former life. And I would love if we get enough people in here, and by enough people on the fantasy league, I'm talking 50 or more.
Yeah,
I might be able to do something as far as tickets to a race or swag, something.
If we can
I
get,
don't know.
Tickets really aren't that much, really. So, I mean, what's shucking out $50 a piece for somebody to go?
Yeah,
like really.
So we'll talk about it, but let's get this season kicked off right. Let's like again, hopefully with expanding out a little bit, with some really good cooperation from the powers that be. Maybe we can really have a good time this year.
I mean, I won, so you got to dethrone me.
Okay, you put that belt on and you wear it proudly, because
I will.
you're gonna have to send it when you're done.
Ain't gonna happen.
All right,
Other than
I'm
that,
done, guys.
Yeah, other than that, I'm pretty much done. Like I said, I had some stuff I wanted to ask, but then that you thought about it, talked about it, I want to wait for those questions for next week. We still got to
All
make
right.
our picks. I got a few things in my head though. We can go.
Sounds like a wiener.
Other than that, I'm good. I'm done.
All right. Thanks, everybody. See you next week.